Animation is not as difficult as it may seem. I'm kidding, it is. But there are simple tricks that might be able to help you make the animation process a little bit easier. In today's video, I'm going to be hopefully helping you, yes you, the viewer, obviously you clicked on this video for a reason, find animation a little bit easier to do and drawing in general. So without further ado, let's get started with the video. Hello everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Chucky Day, and obviously you typically see a little drawn version of myself in the left side of your guys' screen. Well, notice anything different? Clearly it's the outfit. I'm kidding, it's the head. And yes, this is what I look like. Obviously I'm kidding. This is what I look like. But that's besides the point. So those who don't know what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to put together an animated series for everyone on YouTube to enjoy. Because that totally hasn't been done before. Look, I am aware that animation is a big popular thing on YouTube and, well, let's say anywhere. But I'm trying my best to try to teach and educate people on how to draw and how to animate in general. So here's some simple tips and tricks that I have learned through me trying to figure out how to make my animation more smooth and better. Starting off with tracing. I'm not saying tracing someone else's art, I'm saying tracing your own art that you first draw on a piece of paper. I would recommend drawing the basic stuff that you know that you will need in an animated series, such as your character walking from one side of the screen to the other, or let's say your character yawning or walking or running or anything like that. The only thing you really want to do is make a couple bases, both male, female, plus size, or whatever you may be needing for your series, or let's say your art project or whatever you may be doing. And you're going to want to make that, and then you're going to trace over that homemade anime base that you have made in, let's say, IBS Paint, Procreate, or whatever you may be using at home. Obviously, drawing is difficult, especially in any sort of stance. So what helps me is looking up references. You can look at references via Pinterest or just simply Googling it, and you can easily find references of bases walking from side to side and animation tips and tricks on YouTube and all sorts of things. Not to mention, you can also look up a how to draw tutorial and figure that out as well. Now, after you are done tracing and uploading your drawings that you have done, you are going to save those in your picture camera roll or your drawing camera roll or whatever you are saving your art on. Another thing that you can do to help is draw the head as a 360 around on a page, trace over it, same process over. You can also do that with hands and stuff like that. Something that helps me is doing a pose reference myself and then using that as a reference to draw with. If you also want to do that, you could also ask a family member to do a pose or a friend. Now, before you get the thought of, why don't I just trace over someone else's art? How about no? Did you draw that? No, you may not do that, so don't even think about it. The only thing that might be able to be accepted is free to use bases that other artists have drawn that they are allowing you to use. Then yeah, that's totally fine. Knock yourself out. There's also apps that come with bases in them, specifically IBS Paint, that you can use as well because that's, well, what they are there for. But keep in mind, they don't have the individual in-between frames. You would still have to do that, and it would be a massive pain in the rump. Now, personally, the hardest thing for me for animating is mouths. I mean, that's why a lot of my characters are weird for, so I don't have to animate a mouth. But there are ways to get around that. You can easily do the tracing method on the piece of paper. You can actually see me pointing at the piece of paper on my screen. That's kind of cool. Or you can watch videos of people talking to practice the mouth movements that they have. There's also videos and posts and stuff on Pinterest that you can look at for mouth movements, like the vowels on a smile or anything like that. Or you can do the anime method and have the mouth slightly move. In my case, I'm going to be kind of doing a slight mix of both to try to make my own way of animating a mouth. But of course, I'm going to be doing the tracing on paper method and then worry about that later. Now, these tips and tricks might be able to save you a small amount of time, but don't be frustrated if it takes an extreme amount of time, because in the long run, that is normal. Animation or any kind of art takes time and practice. So if it doesn't look right the first time, you can easily just try again. And before people start questioning, I accidentally moved a chair with my foot. And now before people start coming at me in the comment section, no, you cannot use AI, because that is not art. And at that point, you might as well just say that you're a fake artist, because AI is not art. I mean, of course, you can use it, but come on, you're not an artist if you do. Now, that is all I have for today's video. I know that it's not your typical drawn person on the bottom left of your screen or anything, but I decided to show off my new head. And obviously, I wanted to just grab paper and fill it. Now, I will be drawing quite a lot on piece of paper. Lost my train of thought there. I will be drawing a lot on a piece of paper, so I can show you guys in future videos on what to do if you want to. Anyway, without anything else for me to say, don't get demonetized.